What up, Hyperchange? Welcome to another episode. Today we're talking about NIO, the electric vehicle startup some people are calling the Tesla of China. I just got back from Shanghai, visited the NIO store, was able to check out the product, talk to employees, got so much amazing information from just being on the ground in China that I can't wait to share with you. So let's get right into it. So I went to the NIO store in Taikoo Hui, which is sort of a fancy area of Shanghai. They actually have two sort of stores and buildings right next to each other. One is a gallery, the other is a gallery on the first level, and then the second level is the NIO home, or their sort of community, membership club. And, first thoughts of the NIO store is it's almost like a carbon copy replica of the Tesla store model. I mean, it's a very sleek, clean showroom. They have the cars there. They have a little design studio in the back where you can, where you can design and configure your own version of the NIO. They let you get in the car. They let you play with it. It's so incredibly similar to Tesla's, direct-to-consumer retail distribution approach. That's the first thing you see, but frankly, they have executed it incredibly well. It feels like a luxury brand when you go in the store. They have this guy with white gloves open the door for you. Everyone was super friendly. And I mean, in terms of the product, this is what I was most impressed with NIO. I'd never driven the car. I'd never seen the car in person. So of course I had no idea what to expect when I went when I was there in person, and I was frankly blown away. Like, the NIO car starts for around $50,000 US selling price, drastically cheaper than a Tesla in the US or in China. But I mean, the quality of this car, at least I didn't drive it or anything, but looked unbelievable at first glance. I mean, there's in premium leather, there's a huge touchscreen in the front, there's a touchscreen right in front of the wheel as well. They even have like a footrest, sort of like business class seat setting thing. So when you're in the front seat, you can even get massages on your back in the seat. I would say it felt like an incredibly high-end, like Lexus or BMW, and an interesting hybrid of, Tesla with no buttons and just the screen versus like a BMW, which is like all buttons, or a Mercedes, which is all buttons. NIO was a really good happy medium of a huge touchscreen in the middle, and that's the way to pretty much control the car. But at the same time, there was, a few buttons and premium knobs that gave it sort of like this premium luxury car feel that you're used to, which I actually really, really appreciated. And the biggest thing about the car that was my takeaway was Nomi.
Hi, Nomi.
怎么了？
我饿。我饿。
是要我导航去和红
So
记
he asked me,
兴业太古汇
he
店
asked
吗
you whether you need the direction to the restaurant as
Oh.
follows.
Yes.
So
导航开始，本次导航目的地是南京西路站一林口附近，前方左转。
Shishi.
actually, I
Thank you,
think
Nomi.
your you can actually see some numbers on the glass in your slide.
Oh, the number.
Whoa.
Wait, can you see that?
State and also
Yeah.
the direction, right?
I can see that.
Maybe you cannot see.
Yeah, over. Hi, Nomi.
在呢。
帮我拍张照吧。
好的，准备拍照。3、2、1 ，Nomi。
Did that work?
Hi Nomi，
在呢。
打开天窗。
好的。
Nomi opened the sunroof.
天窗打开了。
Thank you, Nomi. Shishi.
Nomi is the virtual assistant that sits on top of every single NIO. I mean, this is something that I think Tesla is drastically behind NIO in competing with, which is this, virtual assistant Nomi can control every single thing in the car with voice. You can ask it to, raise the window, turn up the music, take a selfie. Nomi only spoke Chinese for now, so it was hard for us to actually control it. But I was just incredibly impressed with the intuitiveness and just how much of the future I was looking at. I think every single car going forward is going to have a virtual assistant of some type eventually, and that's how you're going to pretty much do everything in the car, control it with voice. I made a Moonshot Monday like a long time ago that was pitching that Tesla should have its own AI in the car. I'm calling it Jarvis, just like Elon Musk Iron Man. And I still think, even now after seeing the NIO, I believe they need to do that more than ever, because this is a car that's selling for $50,000 US versus Tesla, which is something like $100,000 plus. in China, yet, when you buy the Tesla, you don't have this artificial intelligent assistant. You don't have seats that can do massages. You don't have the reclining features. Like, there's a lot more premium features in the NIO than the Tesla, and frankly, for a much lower price. But on the flip side, we didn't actually drive the car. I wasn't able to talk to any owners of NIO because I don't speak Chinese, and we weren't able to meet them. So I still have a ton of questions about what it's like to drive a NIO off the lot. And frankly, I've heard a little bit of skepticism that some owners weren't happy with the software and it felt like the product was rushed. But me looking at the product firsthand, I was just incredibly blown away. I think it looks beautiful in person, much better than I thought from looking at the pictures online. Like, it's sort of a pretty, it looks like a stunning car, frankly. Like, when you see it driving around the road, we were really good at recognizing NIOs. You saw them everywhere in Shanghai. We went to the shopping mall in the basement, and there was like 10 different NIOs charging at the specific NIO charging station. So clearly consumers were using the car. And then I thought what was really cool about the NIO was the NIO house, basically the clubhouse for members of NIO. And it really shows that how the company is trying to build this community around its vehicles and this lifestyle. And so we were able to sneak into the NIO house and take a little bit of footage, and they were having some event there, but it was like a really sort of chic, WeWork. They had a bar, a coffee bar. They had somewhere where you could let your kids play. Then they had like these cool plant walls, which were also right next to this sort of cool little cozy library nook. Like, it just looked like a great space to work, and there was a ton of people actually using it. Beyond just the NIO house, they're really building a lifestyle brand in that they had, a store with a ton of swag that you could buy, hats, racing gear, socks, all sorts of NIO stuff. Actually, a bunch of it was themed for the Year of the Pig, which was the Chinese New Year that had just happened. So they're really trying to build a lifestyle brand around NIO. NIO means blue sky is coming, which is a very big symbolic thing for China because, China's incredible smog pollution problems. And NIO sort of represents this beacon of hope as blue sky coming. Like, we want to see blue skies and be sustainable. All of the colors that you can choose for your NIO are named after different colors of the sky, which I thought was pretty cool. They had awesome rim choices that I thought were frankly cooler than Tesla's on display. So overall, I was just blown away by NIO. I mean, this is a company that just a couple of years ago didn't exist. They've just sold about 10 or 15,000 cars already, but they are growing like crazy. They're going to do from about a couple $100 million in revenue this year to my projection is about $3 billion in 2019. Right now, NIO is just offering the ES8, which is their 7-seater sort of SUV. But then they also have, which is coming out in, I believe, Q2 2019, the NIO S6, which is a 5-seater, smaller, cheaper, compact, sportier version of the ES8, which we also saw in the showroom, which looked beautiful. It was super impressive. I really liked this. And not only, although it was a little bit smaller, it didn't seem to sacrifice any of the premium features that were in the ES8. And so, I'm leaving NIO sort of scratching my head right now because the quality of this car was it literally is like they copied Tesla's business model, and then they did also put an AI assistant in the car. They also put more luxury into the interior, yet they're selling it for half the price. And yes, NIO isn't making money now, but I mean, I financially, I'm sort of less scratching my head here. I mean, I did think it was interesting that the company outsources manufacturing to JAC, which is a company that is a state-owned enterprise by the government of China. So whether, that's being subsidized for NIO's production, I mean, who knows? I just have so many questions. And I think the biggest question mark on my mind, which I would love the hyperchangers to answer or figure out if you have any insight, is do we know anyone that's driven a NIO, that's owning one, that loves it? Because I think that is the next step of the due diligence. How happy are customers? That is what I'm trying to find out. Taking a step back, NIO is super inspiring to me because China, 5 years ago, there was no signs of electric vehicles in the country. There was no, hint of a sustainable revolution. But now when I go to China, I get, there's recycling bins everywhere. There's paper straws. NIO's there. There's companies called like Byton there. There's Tesla there. There's clear, the cars have green license plates that are electric instead of blue for non-electric. So there's all these perks that the government is pushing into the electric vehicle space. And I think that's super exciting. As someone who wants hyperchange, wants to see us electrify the transport system, it's amazing to see China leapfrogging the US. I mean, in China, going green and sustainable is an inevitability. It makes the US look frankly way behind to see how much they're pushing towards the future of electric vehicles. And that is what got me excited. I think the electric revolution in China is here to stay. This is the world's largest electric vehicle market, period, and now the world's largest electric vehicle market. It's also the largest country by population. So I mean, NIO NIO has huge potential to sell hundreds of thousands of cars per year in the luxury tier just in China alone, representing tens of billions in revenue, in my opinion. Now the stock is running up because of a 60 Minutes interview, but when you look at this company, you look at a $10 billion company that is on track to do $3 billion in revenue, only 3 times sales. I think we're just scratching the surface of how big the potential is for NIO if they can execute, because I don't think they're going to stop at the ES6. I think we're going to see them launch an entire lineup of vehicles, and beyond vehicles, I think they're going to double down on this community aspect of the NIO house. They have the NIO app, which is sort of like a game-changing app, which allows you to chat with different friends.
Here, you can see my point.
Points when you charge and you drive your car. You can spend those points on swag in the NIO store. You can, request service for your car, request charging. So, it's almost a lot more than just a car company. Wraps up my review of NIO. Overall impressions is the company I was far higher quality than I was expecting. It has real customers that are driving around these cars. The cars are the real deal. They look beautiful. They're only selling for around $50,000. They're jam-packed with features. NoMe works and can control things in the car. So definitely surpassing my expectations. I'm really interested and going to be fascinated to follow NIO as they continue to progress and scale. I love the fact that they're public on the New York Stock Exchange. They're reporting earnings in about a week, so I'm going to be covering that here on the channel. We'll get an insight into their full year financials, see how that profitability is doing, which I'm very, very curious about. So I'm not totally convinced on NIO yet, because I'd love to talk to more customers and see, how they're going to last. How is the battery going to hold up? Is the software as good as it looks in the showroom? These are all questions I have. On top of that, I think NIO, IPO'd on the New York Stock Exchange. My guess is I've been saying they're going to come to the US market. I asked them like a million times in the store if they're going to come to the US, and they wouldn't give me an answer. So that's also up in the air as well. They said NoMe only speaks Chinese, so I guess they have to teach NoMe English before they can get to the US market. But either way, I'm incredibly impressed with NIO. I think this is a luxury brand that has a huge opportunity to lead the electric revolution in China and become a multi-10, 20, 30, $50 billion company, if not more, just by catering to Chinese luxury EV consumers. Imagine if they go global. Imagine how big this could get. This is the first time I've ever seen an electric vehicle company that I think is comparable to Tesla in terms of their brand and execution and quality and product and potential. Super exciting stuff. Good luck, NIO. Shout out to the NIO employees who were super friendly and showed us around. I'm really excited. Can't wait to see the progress. This is Hyperchange. Please let me know what you think in the comments below. What do you think about NIO? Are you owning the stock? Are you buying more? Did you like the video? Also, huge shout out to our Patreon supporters, producers. You are the reason why I'm able to fly to China and go there and do this on the ground research, make videos about NIO. I have a video about Tesla coming. I have a video about Byton coming. A ton of China content on the way. So thank you so much for making that all possible. This is Hyperchange. I'll see you guys next time.